we live? Okay, cool.
We're rolling.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about Steven's belly.
And he's not even here to defend himself.
Sorry, Buckley. I was actually talking about your 16.1% body fat, and that's amazing. So kudos to you this morning. Anyway, but before your belly, we were talking about my love handles, so it's okay. Anyway, so welcome, Paul Lee, to the podcast.
Appreciate it. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So the Rare Fitness Podcast, we're bringing we're bringing professionals together to talk about how they balance being a professional, no matter what business that is that they're in, and how they balance family, life, and their profession, doing it all and maintaining their health and fitness. So, and today we have I almost said beautiful, the handsome Paul Lee.
I mean, your camera might break if you say something like that.
So anyway, Paul, tell everybody who's Paul Lee.
So honestly, first and foremost, I'm a father, husband, father, member of the community, and honestly happy to be here. I try to, my focus is always going to be my family. That's what's most important to me. I think that's pretty common amongst most, most men in the area, is that their family is important to them. But I live a busy life. I work a full-time job. I'm in the Marine Corps Reserves, so I have that commitment.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a wife and 3 kids, so I have those things going on, and my fitness journey and my overall health is important to me. So, trying to piece all that together, it ends up making for a pretty busy day.
It does, yeah. Yeah, very busy day. Yeah, cool. So, Paul, we met years ago. So what brought you, what was your biggest struggle, your hurdle, your challenge? What brought you into Rare?
So growing up, I've always been an active person.
Mm-hmm.
As a kid, played sports all the time. Coming through college, super active, super fit, or at least I felt like I was fit.
Felt like he was super fit.
I think I was.
We still believe that.
The young Marine officer, felt like I was fit. There didn't seem to ever be anything really that I couldn't accomplish, physically.
That's because you were 20, man.
I know, right? Because we're young, we're not going to forget. We're going to forget about age for a minute. But as time progresses, things catch up with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I started noticing my body was holding on to weight. My energy levels were lower than what I wanted, and I just wasn't. I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted to see on a regular basis. And I mean, honestly, I don't know how else to say it, but I kind of felt like a slob. I mean, that's just the end of the day. I felt like a slob, and I couldn't put my finger on the why, but I knew I wasn't doing something right. And I was regular. I've always been a gym goer. Always been something to stay active, but things just weren't working.
Something was lacking.
Yeah, there was something that just wasn't there, and
how did that make you feel?
Like a slob, and
Like
made me
a slob.
feel lazy,
Yeah,
maybe not feel good. I mean, you look at yourself in the mirror, you want to like what you see.
Yeah.
Right. You
Yeah,
want to feel good about yourself, because when you feel good about yourself, that that translates into your family, right? The energy that you put forth, I think that impacts your wife, your kids. It impacts your performance at work. It's just like, how do you feel about yourself? And that doesn't mean that you have to be like some cover model on some magazine. I'm not saying that you need to be in that way, but I think it's important to feel good about where you are in your health journey and your fitness. And honestly, I didn't feel good about where I was, and I'm not one to sit back and just let something be.
Yeah.
If I don't like what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So it was like, how do I get myself back to where my view of myself was good. And I've always been someone, and just from a mindset perspective, I think I view fitness as a very personal thing. And I don't think you can be fit for other people, right? You can't be fit because society tells you to. You can't be fit because, someone else told you that you should be a certain way. If you're going to maintain a habit pattern and be healthy to whatever degree that you want to be, it's got to be because you internally want that.
Okay.
Right. And that's just something I've always believed. And so so to kind of bring that full circle. So when I say hey, I didn't feel good about me, that was my vision of myself. And I think everyone has their own vision of themselves, right? And you just have to understand what that is for you. What are you trying to achieve? Where do you want to be? How active do you want to be? What what types of goals do you have, and you just have to. It's got to be for you,
Yeah, yeah.
and if it is truly for you, then you're gonna go do it.
Yeah, I love that. So I picked up 3 things you said there that I wanna touch on. So 1, and I'm gonna say this so we can remember. So habits, showing up for you, and then also you mentioned something about, feeling like a slob, not feeling good in your own skin, like what you're wearing. Have you noticed over the time, like even when you're in the Marines and you know, college, everything, high school, but when you felt good, it's like everything else in your life felt good,
Right.
right? And the times, because ebb and flow, I'm the same, but there have been times where you've probably put on a little bit of weight or haven't felt as good or as strong. We're
Yep.
dudes, we want to be strong. When we feel weak, it's not good. Um, and how that like reflects from inward to outward, right? So when you
Absolutely.
feel crappy, man, just like I'm more cranky, people around me, God, what's wrong with them? It's actually you.
Yeah.
Has that happened for you?
Well, like I think it correlates to confidence,
Mm,
right? So like if you feel good about yourself, you're confident in what you do, and if you're confident in what you're doing, that exudes in your interaction with people, and really in everything you do. Like whether you're being a dad and you're trying to coach your son or your daughter, whether you're being a husband to be supportive of your wife, at work to be engaged in whatever the thing is that you're doing at work, if your starting position is one of really insecurity
mm,
and you just don't feel good about you, it's really hard to put positive energy forward.
yeah,
And then and if you're not putting positive energy forward, then it's even harder to achieve the things that you're trying to achieve. So I really am a believer that, feeling good about you as a person, like your own view of yourself, being a positive, good view of yourself is just kind of like a foundational element to
yeah.
being able to be successful in a lot of different things that you do in life.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I say to people all the time in the gym, I say, every morning I wake up, I look in the mirror and I tell me, I'm like, you're awesome. And a lot of people are like, God, you're such a jerk. You have an ego. I'm like, no, I don't, because my wife doesn't even tell me that as much as I would like to hear it, which is like once a
Well,
year.
that could be an indication of something.
It'll be a small beep.
I only
um,
say that because I know Lee. I know Lee.
but no, it's true though, because not many people, a lot of people tell you what you're doing wrong or, oh man, this is bad or you're not doing this right. But you don't hear a lot like, hey man, proud of you for doing this
Right.
or appreciate this or man, you're doing this really right. And you have what, a boy, 2 girls, and a
Yep.
wife.
Yep.
So you're almost like Justin with 5 women in his life. That's
It's
tough.
kind of funny. So I'll share this, and this can go on the podcast, and I don't know how my
Or we
daughter
can
will
bleep
take
this
it.
out.
No, it can go in there. So it was, gosh,
Wait a minute, which daughter? Oldest or middle?
which one?
Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah,
Yeah,
all right, yeah.
it's middle.
The middle. Yeah.
So
We
we
love
were
you.
we were getting ready for my oldest's high school graduation last
Mm-hmm.
year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my wife was pulling together old photos of just my daughter growing up,
Yeah.
right? So she was in a one of our we had a beach vacation like earlier on when our kids were all younger. So now, rewind back to me in my 30s, and I have to put that clarifier on it because I'm not there
You're
anymore.
not 30?
Not 30 anymore.
Oh, okay.
And there was a picture of me on the beach and I didn't have my shirt on. And the first thing my middle daughter said to me, she's like, "What happened to you?" I'm like, "Wow, thanks. Thanks for that."
Very good job. Very good job. But the truth from someone who loved you
Yeah.
actually meant a lot.
Yeah. She was like, "Wow, Dad." She's looking at the picture. She's like, "What happened to you?"
Wow. But that's a good thing though.
It is. It's a little bit of accountability, right? So
A
like
little bit. That's like a lot of
it is.
accountability. Jeez.
But like we're talking about all these things, and I've been saying how it's important that you have to want to be there, right?
Yeah.
That it has to be a goal has to be driven internally because it's something that you deem as important to
Hmm.
yourself. But having external means of accountability is also really important,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? It helps you, because it is easy at the same time to get complacent. It's
Yeah.
easy to create excuses for why you have or haven't achieved things that you want to
We're all
achieve,
busy.
right? Because we're all busy, and I tell myself that all the time. I'm like, gosh, how am I going to fit
Yeah.
ABC into the day? Because there's just tons of stuff going on. But I mean, at at the end of the whole process, you either did it or you didn't,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You either figured it out or you didn't. And having someone to hold you accountable, which is honestly, you kind of asked me like earlier about like coming to Rare and,
Hmm.
and and being a part of this. So I was a gym goer all the time. I was a gym goer by myself,
Hmm.
right? I would get up in the morning, I would get my stuff together, I would take myself to the gym, right?
Hmm.
So then you're in the gym and you're working out. Well, who are you accountable to?
Yeah.
You, right?
Yeah.
Um, that's something that has been super helpful for me coming here
Hmm.
is we have we've got, I mean, it's our crew, our 6 a.m. crew.
Yeah.
I'm a 6 a.m. guy. I
Yeah.
come here to do that. But everything that we do, we're all watching each other and we're jabbing each other, which is good.
Just
It's
like your middle
healthy.
daughter
Right,
was
right.
or is.
But those little bits of accountability, they kind of drive you, right? And they kind of keep you moving
Yeah.
forward. And so like that sense of community gives you motivation. It gives you motivation because it's always more fun to do something
Yeah.
with somebody.
Mhm.
But it also gives you that anchor point and accountability of like, and like when, like, what do we do when someone's not here every morning? Right.
We text them, we
We
give them
text them, we're
crap,
like, where are you?
we send
Like,
them
why aren't you here?
selfies. Yeah.
You know, it's like whenever I miss the day, even when I tell you guys I'm not going to be there because I'm, doing something else, you
Mhm.
still give me grief,
Yeah.
right? About missing the workout that
Yeah.
day, right? But I think those things are important, right? To
Mhm.
be able to, because it's all in fun, but at the same time, like, it wouldn't happen if that group didn't care.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And when you know that you're in an environment where people actually kind of care about you
Mhm.
and you have a good relationship and and they have similar goals that they're trying to achieve, you're now putting yourself in a place that makes it more likely for you to achieve the things that you wanted to achieve
And
yourself.
succeed.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's yeah, it all kind of there's so many layers to it,
Mhm.
really,
Really
when
are,
it
yeah.
comes together, and
Yeah.
so many different things that I think impact the journey and impact how you do it. But yeah, like I said, foundationally, I think it has to start with you because you want it, right?
Yeah.
And then you need to put yourself in a place that allows you to find that success, where you can have that support, where you can have that accountability, where you can have a place you want to be
Yeah.
to do those things, to start, stepping your way towards, where you want to be. I know, like for me, something that's always been important, just kind of like random health goals. Like my son is 13 right now. I've told myself that I always want to be able to do whatever he is doing physically.
Mm.
Like I never want to be in a place where if he's like, "Hey dad, let's throw a football." And I'm like, "Oh, I can't." Right? I never want to, or just an example, I owe my oldest daughter this. I had stopped running because my joints are beat up and whatnot. I hadn't run in like over 2 years.
Mhm.
Right? So 6, 7 weeks ago, she came to me and she's like, "Dad, I want to run the historic half. Will you run it with me?" And my first thought was like, "No." Like, "No. I haven't run in over 2 years. No." But like, but I remind myself, and like I've always told myself as a father, it is really important to me that I can not just be there present,
Yeah.
that I can be there with them doing whatever it
Doing.
is that,
Yeah.
that they're doing. So I'm like, all right, all right, like, yeah, I'll run this with you.
Yeah.
Right. So I started at ground zero, having not run in over two, it seemed like over 2 years because I mean, minimal, like I would run like minimally, but I really haven't done any kind of consistent running. I've been lifting weights.
Yeah.
So I have strength, but I didn't have the muscular endurance. Right. So to,
And we had a talk about this.
yes. But so now I'm on this path
Yeah.
of building myself toward being able to run a half marathon with my daughter in the middle of May.
Mm.
Right?
Well, hold on, because you kind of leaned back to old ways, military ways of like, do more.
Oh yeah.
Right? Basically.
Yeah.
And we're like, hold on, Pilgrim, let's pump the brakes.
And I'm more and I can say proudly, like I started this about 6 or 7 weeks ago.
Mhm. Yeah.
And like last weekend I hit 7 miles.
Yeah.
So
Which
I
is
went
great.
from 0 to 7 in 7 weeks, and I still have another 6 to add on.
Which you're already
But
ready to run, though. You're ready.
I mean, and it's funny. My daughter, she's a runner. God love her, and she's gonna smoke me, because that's just what it is. But she asked me, she's like, "So what kind of pace are we gonna run?" I looked at her, I was like, "Finish,
The finish pace.
the pace that lets me finish."
I'm running the FP, the finish pace.
But that's like, I think that's also maybe, to the larger conversation we're having about incorporating health and fitness into your life. You need to have goals, but you also need to be reasonable,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
You like, I could sit here and tell you like, oh, I want to deadlift 500 pounds, which I don't, by the way,
Mhm.
but I could set that as a goal. That's not a reasonable goal,
Yeah.
right? I'm 48 years old. Could I do that? Maybe. I don't know.
You could.
Is that smart?
Right.
Is
You
that
could, but it's a sacrifice on the other end of
right?
what it's worth.
And so I think like when you're looking at health and fitness and all the parts and pieces that go together, you know, you got to want to do it. You got to be consistent. You got to have accountability. You got to have all these things, but you also got to be reasonable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You got to set a goal for yourself. But it's kind of like everything in life. You want to have something that's aspirational, but it needs to also be achievable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that balance. Because if you set it so high, and then you don't achieve it, you've
Mhm.
actually killed your own confidence
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because you didn't give yourself. So
Right.
it's like it's that happy balance,
Yep.
when you're trying to find that
So,
place.
and it's really funny though, Paul, going back to your middle daughter when she said, "Hey, Dad, like what happened?" Right?
I told
And
her you.
yeah, well, I'll take the blame for that. But also, isn't it amazing though too? Like in those simple words, you understood, and you already knew this, but she's watching.
Oh yeah.
And I think everybody, even if you have kids, but it's not even your kids, your family, the friends you have in your life who are few and far between, who actually will tell you, "Hey, man, like what's going on? Like something's going." They'll be honest with you. It's those people like they're always watching.
Yeah.
And so the good thing is like, but if Paul could just rip his shirt off and have a six pack, and your daughter's like, "Well, yeah, Dad, you're crushing it." It's a whole different thing, right? But it's okay to have call outs like that because life ebbs and flows, or
Mhm.
life's ebb and flow, right? At 20, your life ebbed and flowed differently than it is right now at your age now, right?
Oh yeah.
But it's not going to change. It doesn't matter if you won a $10 million lottery right now, life will still ebb and flow. It doesn't matter if you could deadlift 500 pounds and crush the marathon, right?
Right.
Life's still going to ebb and flow. I think a bigger thing is like how you deal with this stuff.
And I think you have to understand that the drivers change,
Yeah.
and so do j- well, just life in general changes, right? So like and we've talked about this in the past. Like
Yep.
when I was younger, it was, I don't want to say it was easy, but it was different, right?
Yeah.
Being able to attain certain levels of fitness when I was in my 20s, it, I don't know, it just seemed like if I decided I was going to do whatever thing A was, I
You
went and
just
did
go
it.
do it.
I
Yeah.
just went and did it. And
But also
but
balancing or counterbalancing life's priorities was different then too.
it was, I had a
Yeah.
lot less going on, right? So
Yeah.
I had the time, like I could work out for 2 hours a day,
You didn't have three
and
kids.
I didn't have three kids.
Yeah.
I didn't have all the things. So I had, and I don't want that, I don't want kids to come across as an excuse, right?
No.
Because it's not, but it is a time constraint, right? You
Yeah.
have to
Big
understand your
time constraint.
constraints. And the other thing where I was going, that is something that honestly is probably my biggest struggle even today, is diet,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like when I was in my 20s, it didn't matter what I ate. I could eat. I mean, it mattered, but it didn't, right? Like
Yeah.
I could eat whatever I wanted, however much I wanted, and I could still get in the gym. I could still hit the road and go run. I
Yeah.
could perform,
You
right?
didn't feel the ramifications that you feel now.
Right now, like if I'm not super super deliberate with the things that I put into my body,
Mm-hmm.
like I know immediately,
Yeah.
and the enduring impact of that,
Mm-hmm.
and that really, like if we're talking about like where I am in my journey and my health journey today,
Yeah.
I don't think, and you could tell me if I'm wrong, I don't think my problem or challenge is showing up,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I think I'm pretty consistent of getting here.
Yeah.
I'm pretty consistent in completing the workout. I push myself physically.
Mm-hmm.
Like I do the physical end. I If I'm gonna be honest with myself, I like I'm definitely lacking on the diet side,
Okay.
right?
Well,
Like
let's say nutrition, right? Yeah.
diet in that the things I
Yeah.
choose to
Yeah.
eat,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
nutritional aspect, and quite frankly, because the things that are bad for you just taste so good. But
There's a lot of things that are good for you that taste good too.
yes,
But so this goes to actually kind of the topic of this, right?
right.
So Paul and I, we literally, I just texted him this yesterday. Hey, what's going on, man? But right now, like you're eating healthy, right?
I think I am,
But you're not losing weight.
not the way I want to. No,
So again, really, and many of you can relate, like, hey, why you're eating healthy, or drinking enough water, but you're not losing weight or attaining the goals you want from a health and fitness perspective. And so for you, like, what did I text you yesterday? And this wasn't scripted. This is literally what I texted you.
you said, "Hey, are you tracking? Let's start now."
Yeah, like, simple. It
Yeah,
doesn't mean you have to, but again, where are you going? There's a famous question because Paul's a fiduciary. It's like, where are you going? Like, well, where were you?
yeah.
If you don't know where you were, how are you going to know where you want to get? And if you have no idea where you want to get, then you're really not going anywhere, right?
Well, it's like
Same thing with health.
anything in life. If you don't have a plan, right? If you don't have metrics to measure, how do you know what you're, like, if you're on
Yeah,
path or not,
yeah,
right? um and at the end, and just, if I'm being honest with myself, when I'm like trying to figure out, like, where am I lacking,
yeah,
I'm not diligent about tracking what I put into my body.
yeah, yeah.
And so if I have to find the place for why am I not achieving the things I'm trying to achieve,
Hmm.
well, that's the hole,
Yeah, yeah,
right? That's the place. And I mean, it's just, quite frankly, it's not fun. I enjoy the work.
yeah.
I enjoy the lifting. I enjoy the physical activity. I don't I don't enjoy the nutritional side of it.
And Paul's just like me, even though I've been doing this for 3 decades, and we've had Rare for 18 years. It's the same thing. If you're not measuring what you're or managing what you measure and stuff like that, you're not going to hit goals. So
No.
again, one of the biggest signs we see at Rare, we've seen this for 2 decades here with the gym specific is, hey, I eat healthy. I know you don't. And then I drink enough water. I know you don't. And
I
then
know I don't drink enough water.
I get enough sleep. And then I'm like, no, you don't. Because what's enough? So if you're not measuring
Right.
what's enough, like I put enough gas in my car for what? Where are you going? Are you just nipping around town or are you going to the beach? Different, right? Same thing. So when I text that to Paul, I said, hey, just start tracking because we've done this before.
Yep. And it works.
And it does work. Now, it's not for everybody, but if you have no idea, like, and you think you're eating healthy, if you even have that thought of, I think I'm eating healthy, then you should hire a coach or get somebody because you thinking you eat, you should know I am eating healthy because it's easy. If Paul and I went to Chick-fil-A or McDonald's right now,
Mhm.
everybody watching can say, are we eating healthy? No. Or maybe some of you are like, yeah, like you're dead wrong. So it kind of goes to that thing. So now we said, hey, start just watch what you're doing and track that. Just track.
Yeah.
And like track, are you drinking 10 cups of coffee a day? Because you're probably adrenal glands are fatigued. That's why you can't sleep. It's crazy. So there's a lot to it. So started tracking.
Yeah. And
Well, no, you didn't actually. You came in this morning.
I
You came
started
in.
this
He
morning.
said, I'm going to start today.
I
And
did
I said,
start.
actually, yesterday, I said, you start.
I
Right?
did track today. I've got what everything I've eaten today is in the app in the phone. But to the I'm eating healthy, and it goes to the level of detail.
Mm-hmm. Level of detail to the goal.
To the goal, right?
Yeah.
So when I say like I believe I'm eating healthy, well, I don't eat fast food, but I'm it's not completely eliminated, but
Right.
except on rare occasion.
Yeah.
I don't eat high sugar foods. I'm not eating like cake and ice cream
Which
and
that's great.
candy. Like
Yeah.
that's not part of my normal diet. I'm not eating chips and, snacks and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So like the things that you would typically believe to be, your standard unhealthy. I also don't drink I drink occasional drinks, but I'm not drinking every day and I'm not
Yeah.
drinking a lot, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if I have I might have a beer or I
Mhm.
might have a glass of wine. Like I
Mhm.
had one glass of wine last night
Yeah.
with dinner, right? And I think like we've had conversation about this before. Like tracking your nutrition does not mean eliminating everything.
Right.
It just means managing and understanding what it is that you're
Yeah,
putting in
really
your body.
watching what you're doing.
So like I feel from a 10,000-foot view that I'm not eating poorly
Mhm.
because I'm not eating all the things that are typically in the known bad bucket.
Right.
But I'm also not tracking, so I don't know. Like, am I getting the appropriate amount of protein in my diet?
You don't know.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
not tracking,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
can't tell you that I am, right?
Mhm.
So like that, and that's admittedly that's the place where I know I
Yeah.
need to work.
Well, and we literally this morning after working out went into the kitchen and we were talking about shameless plug, a meal tracking app that we use, and Paul went in there and it did a base thing for his wasn't it your height, weight, and age?
It's yeah, height, weight, age, and it gave me like a base calorie count and the projected macros of
Which I think was
carbs, protein,
I
and
think it
fat,
was
and they were
2320.
yeah. It said I should eat 2320, which is more than I should.
Yeah, 2,320 calories a day. And this is what most people fail to realize. And again, why a coach or an accountability, somebody comes in, they're like, okay, that app doesn't know Paul's stress level, doesn't know what he does for a living, doesn't know he has 3 kids and a wife, doesn't know he's getting 2 hours of sleep or 10 hours of sleep. It doesn't know all that.
Yeah.
But the other thing it doesn't know is like this cup of coffee right here. This is, I think, 12 ounces. You can't fit more than 12 ounces in here. That's it. If we had this one here, this is whatever, 32. 2 different things. But if you try to fit that much in here, it's going to overflow, which really leads to weight. It doesn't matter if it's protein, carbs, and fat. So anyway, so Paul, you didn't look frustrated this morning, but you're a little, I think it was agitated, right? With the app
No,
about,
so I was agitated because I was having trouble getting logged in.
oh, okay.
That was a Paul technology problem,
Oh,
not a app. But I thought it was just more from an intriguing standpoint
mm,
that, and I have to imagine, I have to give, and of course we're not ever going to say the app that
yeah,
we're
yeah,
that we're using because that's not something we would do. But I imagine that if I gave a full biographical set of data,
yeah.
that it would probably be a lot more accurate.
It would, yeah,
And
more
the
clear.
things like it had my height, weight, and age.
Yeah,
That was it, and it's like, oh well, this right,
very generic.
a very generic kind of thing, and I would expect that if I went and filled out every single data field that
Yeah.
is inside of
Hmm.
that with more detail and added fidelity in terms of like the amount of sleep, the
Hmm.
amount of
Hmm.
exercise, and added all the
Yeah.
potential things that you could add, I would imagine the answer would be
Yeah.
different.
Well, that's a
But
good point for everybody to watch. So if you enter in generic inputs, you're going to get generic outputs,
yeah,
and then you're going to wonder why you're not hitting your goal, whatever that is. That's true. And like again, you can go get the $10 membership at the gym down the road, or you can go get the $1,000 personal trainer monthly. You're gonna get you, or you should. I'm not saying you're gonna, but you should get better inputs and outputs with not necessarily more money, but more of a detailed with somebody specifically, something like that. And it's true in life. Again, your Tesla has more gauges than my 2000 Tundra does, right?
right.
I mean, a lot more. You get a lot more data than I get. I just want
Yeah,
my car to run. I'm good with that. Where yours, you want it to be efficient, the battery life to stay good, right? It's way
yeah.
different. Yeah. So, big stuff here. So, I'm trying to think.
Well, and I think that also comes down to, because other things we've talked about in the past, just understanding who you are. Like every one of us is different,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Everyone, it's not just different goals, right? It's also like my physical makeup is different than your physical makeup.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still way stronger, but that's okay.
Well, we could put that on video if you want. We
I'm
could
just
put
trying
that
to
on
poke
video.
him.
um,
See, I threw him off now. See, he's like,
well, so like the the counts that will work for me, and when I say counts, like macros,
yep,
right?
yep.
That will work for me and my goals are not going to be the same for you.
No.
To
Nope.
to your point about like it isn't there is an individualization that kind of
Yeah, and
comes,
size matters.
and there are there's general rules,
Mhm.
right? There's generalities that say, more protein, less fat, less carbs, like whatever like those balances are, and generalities in terms of total calories in, total calories consumed vice burned.
Yep.
Like you can go into those generalities, but when you really want to, if you're really trying to achieve a specific health goal, understanding your own, like how your body works is
Right.
pretty important.
Yeah, and that helps to have somebody help you identify that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Paul, what's like just be dead honest now. We've been lying the whole time. What is one habit you know you need to change right now and you haven't?
Well, honestly,
Related to your health and fitness.
well, it's tracking.
Okay.
That's just I just don't do it,
Okay.
and I don't do it with any kind of regularity. Like
But you are right now.
well, yeah, I started this morning,
Okay.
but that's not a habit yet, right? Because practice makes habits become behavior.
That's
Right?
right.
It's
That's
kind of
right.
like the path, right? So
Yes.
you have to be deliberate and consistent in action to build it into a habit to then
Yep.
continue to go to build it into a behavior. That's just kind of like how we are as people. Um, I've done it before. We've gone down this before,
Yep.
and when I have been deliberate about tracking the things that I put into my body, the results came.
Yeah.
And then I stop tracking and the results go away.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's a known thing, but it's actually pushing myself to follow through and
To
do it.
do it, yeah,
Yeah.
follow. So, question for you though too: does it help when your trainers are also doing that same thing?
For me, yes.
Okay, so it kind of goes back
Yeah.
to you and your daughter,
Yeah.
right? Of like, if she sees you showing up, like, well, I gotta kick dad's butt, right?
Yeah.
It's the same. It's funny. So we were talking about this too, where I've slacked. I need to lose like 5 or 10 pounds right now. And I'm doing the same thing, tracking, because I know that's been lacking for me. So again, life ebbs and flows. Am I beating myself up? Are you beating yourself up?
Right. Am
No,
I? No.
no, not at all. It's just ebb and flow, and that's some things that people do. They get this spiral of like, I suck, I'm horrible. You shouldn't do that. You need to get around people, right, who support you and maybe have similar goals. We're like, Paul, you got this, man, right? It's saying, hey, Adam, like, whatever, you got it.
And I
That's
think
really
that goes
important.
back to we talked about it earlier. It's community,
Yeah.
right? Like it goes along
Your
with the
tribe, your community.
accountability, right? The the people that you put yourself around will influence the results,
Yeah,
right? Like
hugely influence your results.
so if you want to be successful in a specific area of life, it tends to be beneficial to put yourself in a place where you're around other people that behave that way.
Correct. Yeah. And I'm not exactly like you, but that tribe. Again, we banter, we have callus. We like having a good time, and it's not just all men. We have women here too.
Oh yeah.
We're going to get on the show as well. Everybody's thinking this is just a man's podcast. No, it's not. There are women coming for sure. But they like to have that too, just the banter. And it's kind of like the ladies we have here. I feel like we're big brothers to them, or like they're little sisters to us, right? 'Cause we've talked about stuff, we're like, "Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have said that." Like, "Oh, no, you sound like my big brother."
Yeah.
And we like that because it's the
Mhm.
same so we just have a great time. That might not be right for you, and that's okay, but you need to find your community, your tribe.
Yep.
And it might be the gym where you just put your headphones on and you do your thing. You might be that type of person who's disciplined, but, if you are lacking with hitting your goals from health, fitness, financial, relationships, whatever it is, get with some people who will help you make changes that you show up confident, best version of you. So when people see you, they're like, "Wow, what changed in you? Like, what happened? Like, you're a different person." It makes a big difference the people you're around, hugely. I mean,
Mhm.
we're both Rotarians, we're in Rotary, and we're probably the youngest people there.
Well, we do sit at the table of youth.
We're not, but we're probably middle of the road. But there are a lot of people in our group that are 80s, late 80s.
Mhm.
We love being around them.
Oh, they're great people.
They're amazing
Mhm.
people. Just life experiences. They don't really complain much. We love that. But they're just great people. But we love it because that's the community like we aspire to be to,
Mhm.
not just from health and fitness, but just for our own growth, right?
Absolutely.
So, Paul, would you recommend anybody to come into Rare, and if so, why?
Absolutely. So, I think it ties into everything we've been talking about,
Hmm.
right? So, first and foremost to me, like as part of your overall, health journey, you've got to want to be healthy,
Hmm.
right? And so I would say if you want to be healthy, if you want to be around other people that are like-minded, because that matters,
Hmm.
right, towards achieving goals. If you want to be around people that are going to hold you accountable, if you want to have fun while you're doing it, then in my opinion, this is a great place to be.
Yeah.
And because we achieving a goal completely on your own, like existing on an island is really that makes it a lot harder,
It
right?
does.
But if you want that community around you that's going to help you achieve the things you're going to achieve, and then oh by the way, when you start hitting those goals that account for health and things of that nature, it's going to translate into all the other things in your life, and it's just going to make you a more pleasant person to be around. Then, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely would recommend to. I mean, whoever's watching this,
Yeah.
if you see it, like again, if you want a place that's fun to be, great people, you know, people that'll hold you accountable, why not?
Yeah.
You should do it.
Awesome. Love that. Thanks, brother. So, if you are a business professional, if you're not getting the results you need, if you have a family like Paul, and you're not sure what to do, if you say, "I'm eating healthy but not losing the weight," then come check us out. If you found this video impressive, it was. Or if you liked it, just like, comment, subscribe, ask us any questions. Check us out, rarefitfxbg.com, and we'll see you next week.